When I was on that fool Lord Jamar show, Politically Uneducated Negro, he said the exact same thing. How stupid can you be? When somebody says something like Marcus Garvey never been to Africa, they're telling you three things about themselves. They're telling you, number one, you know nothing about global history. Number two, you know nothing about African history or colonization, okay? And you know nothing about international relations. It is absolutely asinine for a Negro to say Marcus Garvey never went to Africa without putting it into the context.
Why do you think someone like Marcus Garvey, who preached going back to Africa, never stepped foot in Africa? What
He
was
was
that
banned.
all about? Huh?
He was banned from Africa.
Was he?
Of course. The colonial
Really?
powers wouldn't dare let Marcus Garvey get into Africa. He was
In
banned.
nay country? Not nay, nowhere?
Well, remember now, you're talking the 1920s.
Mm-hmm.
The whole of Africa was colonized by the European. There was no country except Ethiopia and Liberia that could be considered independent.
Right.
And at that time, Mr. Garvey and His Majesty had some differences that they later worked out on the Ethiopian side. And on the Liberian side, for those who are familiar with Garvey's history, Marcus Garvey was on his way to Liberia.
Hey guys, I just wanted to come on and touch on a couple of things really quick. Today I guess I'm gonna be on my blackity black stuff. Anyway, because I want to touch on Sean Davy Wayne as well. That's in another video. But this interview between Lord Jamar and Dr. Umar Johnson happened last year, and I was actually listening to that interview. And I'm going to be fair and say I can see both sides of it. Even though I don't particularly care for Lord Jamar anymore, I'm going to be fair in what I say. And, I feel like he was definitely wanting to ask Dr. Umar during that interview some questions that most people were talking about, even on YouTube and everywhere else. As far as this school that Dr. Umar is claiming that he's going to open, no one knows when the school is actually going to open. Earlier this year, he was saying in August, and here we are in August. And to my understanding, he's going to hold an event. I'm assuming this is at the school site, in a gymnasium. And I don't know if that means the school is going to come at some point after. We are going into a new school year for most kids. So I don't know. So I'm going to be fair to Jamar in that respect. But then when he went into the Marcus Garvey stuff, I do agree with Dr. Umar on that. People should do their research before they start saying things just to say things. Now, I don't even remember now why he was even trying to question that like that. But yeah, I mean, even without truly even doing the research, you can imagine how times, well, if you can imagine, and he's not that young, like he's not a 19, 20-year-old. So this is why I'm saying this. I want to be clear about that as well. I can understand if younger people who don't really know what America or the world was like, even 50 years ago or 60 years ago, then I can understand you not really being able to wrap your mind around what Dr. Umar is saying or what I'm saying. But Lord Jamar is not 20, 21 years of age. He's old enough to know better. Because even when I was growing up, there were signs of certain things that were going on in this country at one time, and those things have changed a great deal. I'm not saying that, and that's why I know that his mind is basing things on how things are today and not how they were during Marcus Garvey's time. And so that is Dr. Umar's point. And like I say, people should do their research before they try to take on scholars. This is why it was a humor to us to think that people were wanting to see Dr. Umar try to debate a Kevin Samuels. Like Kevin Samuels talks from the side of his neck. And I don't know if people recognize that or not, because just because you can speak well and you can sell ice to Eskimo do not mean that everything you're saying is true. And so that's where a lot of the stuff that's on YouTube and on these, in other places as well, it becomes problematic because people are saying things that they can't back anything up with. That's just some, they just want to say those things. And so Dr. Umar is right about that. People should do their research before they try to discredit someone or discredit somebody. There are other schools named after Marcus Garvey and Frederick Douglass anyway, so I don't even understand why he was questioning him placing their names on these schools. I'm assuming that that's where that was coming from. I don't know. It could be some other things that I don't even want to get off into, but so Lord Jamar decided that he wanted to come back at Dr. Umar. So he has a video out here as well, which I can't use any of his footage, of course, but he's, going on this whole rant for about an hour about Dr. Umar calling him stupid for not, having that knowledge. And this is why, like I said, you do need to look into things before you just start saying stuff. Especially when you're talking to someone that's educated. Now, people can say what they want to say about Dr. Umar as far as you think that he's scamming people, this, that, and the third. And my whole thing is, if you feel that way, stop giving him your money. That's how you handle that. Don't give him your money. And my other thing is, we don't even know how he's funding this school anyway. Like, to be really honest, we don't know if it's really donations or if he has some investors from wherever. Look at all these other organizations out here that are taking money from large corporations and setting up deals with large charity companies that own all these charities and stuff. Everyone's not collecting donations the way you may think they are. Sometimes some of this money is coming from invested interests. And so that's my thing. Do we really know where the money is coming from that Dr. Umar is collecting anyway? Just because he's constantly on here saying hit the Cash App, do not mean that donations are funding this school. And I just wanted to put that in the air. But let me know what you guys think about this conversation between them, if you have thoughts on it. Like I said, I will be fair to both sides. And my whole thing about that interview, I feel like they could have, and I'm saying they because it was on his show, and it's like 2 or 3 people that host that show. And I'm not sure if all 3 of them were there because sometimes it's just him and sometimes he's there with a couple other people. But, they could have let him know, look, people want to know when this school is going to open. So that's what we really want to talk about. So he could have walked into that interview with some type of understanding, because I think in him in some kind of way, and probably that's why he did the interview in the first place. And that's just me being fair to both sides, because I was watching that interview and he came off a little surprised that Lord Jamar was kind of questioning him about certain things and like coming at him like, oh, my father-in-law owns the school, he can help you with this and that and the other. And so I remember Dr. Umar came off kind of upset, and he was like, I don't understand why Black people always have to question everything, and why not just do it? But it shouldn't take you 10 years to open a school, if you want us to just do it. People are not going to just give you money and not see any results from that money, and then you think they're going to keep giving you money. Like, that is that part of it for most people. Now, if he can sit down and honestly explain why the school is not open, and show people that, not just give them your words, but, say that I haven't collected the money that you guys think I have, or whatever the situation is, then that would make more sense. But you don't get to tell people, especially the people who are giving you donations, that they don't have a right to want it to see results for the reasons that they were giving you that money in the first place. But let me know what you guys think about all of this. And what do you think about his festival? I believe it's a festival that's coming up. Somebody was in the comments saying that it's just for a gym. It's not for the entire school. I don't know. I think he's holding this event at the gym, and that's why the gym is opening first, I hope. But let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.